King 18. So we see that it said after a long time, then the word of God came to Elijah, and that God would send rain on the land. And so, so the famine was severe, and but Ahab was trying to find green grass so that doesn't have to kill any of his animals. I wonder why. Not sure, but right now, Obadiah was working, was a part of Ahab's court, I guess, his palace administrator. And Obadiah, was loved the Lord and saved prophets. And Elisha appeared to him and said that he would appear before the king. And so after confirming that that will be the case, then he told the king that Elisha wanted to speak to him, and it's interesting that Obadiah said right here that if right here, I don't know where the Spirit of the Lord may carry you when I leave you. So I wonder what that really meant. Yeah, it's interesting. That verse was really interesting to me because I'm not really sure at that time did God sweep Elisha here to there, similar to how he did in the New Testament, where he took I don't remember who it was, but he took a person into the desert to speak with the Ethiopian. So maybe he was doing that to Elijah. And then so Ahab met him, and he told Ahab to gather at Mount Carmel. And I'm pretty sure this is a short version of it, but Ahab probably wasn't ready to listen to him, but he said this is going to he probably told Ahab part of the plan and how to know if God is going to send rain or not, because the famine was severe. So there has to be some sort of thing, because Ahab wouldn't just listen to Elijah out of the blue, because he did want Elijah actually killed. And it's interesting that he called him troubler of Israel. So then the Baal worshiper was actually cutting themselves. And that is really people resort to this kind of rituals, and thinking that they're what they do in the ritual, hurting themselves and so on and so forth, are going to please their gods, and somehow make a god that doesn't really exist. And that is actually what God tell us, that if we worship gods that are made of wood, stone, and things that are made by human hands, we are as blind and as deaf as they are. And so obviously Elisha taunted, and but then when it was his turn, he built a trench, and he actually filled it with water. Oh yeah, and another thing I want to say about that is that we cut ourselves, and God is actually our creator. God is actually the one that gave us our body, and our body is to be used as a temple, as a service to him, and yet they are using God's body to cut themselves to worship false gods, and that is messed up. That is very thoroughly wrong. And so he taunt them, and he actually pour water in the trench to when it's overflowing. So it's interesting that they let him do that because water is scarce. But he did it. Or actually, maybe water is okay. It's just, well, the famine. So I'm not sure. But so after that, they saw God took off the sacrifice, and they saw his power, and so they said that the Lord, he is God. The Lord, he is God. Before this, they were kind of like teetering and tottering, sometimes worshiping the Lord and sometimes not. And that's, I think, what it's meant by why do you have two, like, why do you teeter totter? Why do you have, like, two opinions? So after that, then they killed off all the false prophets, or the prophet that worshiped Baal and Ashtoreth, and so that was good, because those people were leading these people astray, and so I think that's God's punishment for them. And then Elisha told Ahab to go back before the rain stopped him, and he waited to see a shape of a cloud, and then after that, it's interesting to read that the power of the Lord came on Elisha, and tucking his cloak into his belt, he ran ahead of Ahab all the way to Jezreel. So that's really interesting, like that these kind of like thing happened to Elisha, so like he can run faster than a chariot on a cloudy day. Well, actually, heavy rain already started falling, so in the rain. So very, like, the things that are written here is very interesting and curious to me. Elijah, one more thing that he thinks about himself is that he's the only prophet left, but I'm thinking there's more than that, because I remember reading that God actually told him that he has other people, raise up other people beside him, but Elisha's account is what is written in the Bible.